Well, my name is Christopher Atkins and I've been a guide for 13 years now.
My name is Beth Clark and I'm a guide for Windigo Adventure.
Yeah, my name is Andrew. I'm from British Columbia.
I became a guide because I've kind of always had the personality of a guide. I've always wanted to show people around whenever they come to my hometown of Montreal. I did a lot of traveling. From 2008, I've been traveling around the world, so I decided I wanted to bring travelers to my country.
It's an interesting story. I've been guiding for about almost 8 years now. I think the reason I started working as a guide is because I like working with people and like sharing the adventure with people.
I became a guide because a girl I knew was a guide, and when she told me about her experience, I thought it sounded fascinating, so I wanted to be part of that.
This should be the 4th summer coming up.
I've been guiding for Windigo for 6 years now. It's my 6th year.
I've been working in tourism for 13 years. I've been an adventure guide for 5 years, and I've been working for Windigo for 2.
Adventure.
I love working for Windigo because it offers the chance to guide all over Canada for a variety of different clientele who are interested in different things. So it could be people who are more interested in the cultural side of traveling or the more natural side of traveling, doing hikes and things. So you really get a variety of trips you get to lead.
Options.
Yes, before every trip that we do, there is a briefing that you do with your operations manager at the office. And then if you are a new guide, there is a kind of a training that you do prior to the start of the season. In my case, I had already been guiding before, so I didn't do that, but it is available.
Yeah, before the start of every trip, we get together with the people from the office, the other guides we'll be guiding with if we're guiding more than one guide. And we go over the whole itinerary, we make sure we know where we're going, so we really are ready to go once we hit the road.
So I think what I found out is that if you have a passion for people, that goes a long, long way. If you like, sharing knowledge, stories, wisdom, stuff like that, that's a huge bonus. It's gonna make you really good. It's gonna make people really love you in a way, sharing time with you. And I think adaptability is like a must. It's almost a no-brainer. There's lots of things really, but I guess patience after that.
I think the best qualities to have are really capacity of adaptation. I think whatever situations come our way, we need to be able to react and make sure that it goes smoothly. Another thing is people skills, because it's fun to be out there and driving and stuff like that, but really it's all about being with people. So I think people skills are a great setup, and also organizational skills, being able to know when to stop for food, how to organize, do a grocery for a group of people. So I think these 3 skills are what you need to be a good guide.
So a guide has to have a lot of different qualities in order to run a successful tour, but the 3 most important ones I think are, to start with, you have to be a people person. You have to be likable, but you also have to like people. A tour is going to go off a lot better if your guests like you, and likewise if you like them. So if you're a people person, that's a really important one. Secondly, organization is super important as well. If you're organized, your clients are going to trust you, and your life is going to be a lot less stressful as well. And then third, you have to be interested in safety, because obviously, if you're not, bad things can happen. So you have to be fairly safety conscious as well.
If you want to do this job, just go ahead. You can do it. If you like to do it, go ahead. It's fun, and you'll be in for a good adventure.
Yeah, I think if you want to guide, if you have any inclination you want to guide, definitely look into it. It's an awesome job. But ask tons of questions before you actually start doing your job, because it's a job which has a lot of skills required and a lot of details.
Yeah, when you're first starting out, I think it's important to get sort of a hang of it. You don't want to like burn out. Like if you want to do this for a few years, you don't want to burn out in your first season. So kind of pace yourself, you know, and that's different for everybody. You might be like, I could handle 7, 8 trips, you know, my first season, and you can, that's great. But a lot of people, like I found, it's important to just, you know, come to learn that it's important to pace yourself as you go.
So in 5 years of guiding, I've had a lot of really amazing experiences with my groups. But one of the ones which has always stuck out for me was a few years ago. I was guiding up in the Laurentian Mountains in Quebec. I was staying in Mont-Tremblant, and it was over Canadian Thanksgiving. And so I decided to make a Thanksgiving meal with my group, and they all pitched in and helped, which is the way it should be for Thanksgiving. And before the meal, we did an activity that my family always does before Thanksgiving dinner. We go around the group and we all say something that we're thankful for. And so everybody did it, and it was, you know, a lot of really nice thoughts showing their thankfulness for you know, their traveling, etc. And then we got to a young couple from Taiwan who had just gotten married. And the young bride said that she was so grateful to be here in Canada, because in Canada there are lots of trees, and in Taiwan there are only buildings. And for me that was a really strong feeling, and I think it was for everybody in the room as well. You have this tremendous opportunity as a guide to show people how amazing Canada is, and moments like that really mark you.
I had this one canoe trip that was on, it was going to Lake LaBarge to the Yukon River, but we started that trip in a storm, and it was pretty sketchy. We thought, well, this is kind of a really bad time to start a trip, and there was kids on the trip and families and stuff, so we paddled for a little while, and we're like, okay, God, like we got to do something about this because this is so dangerous. And so we went to shore and we thought maybe we can make a sail. And so we found some masts, we had a tarp, we set it up. We thought, oh, that's crazy, but let's see what happens. And we put all the canoes together, 6 canoes, and got this big sail up. And what was awesome is that we turned a potentially very sketchy, dangerous experience into a most like unforgettable and awesome memory. And we had a GPS and we clocked it. We were going 11 kilometers an hour on the lake. So we blasted through that like 2-day paddle in like a couple hours, like roughly a day. Yeah.
I gotta say, going whale watching in Tadoussac near Quebec City on the St. Lawrence River, and having clients who really wanted to see whales, and having a blue whale coming up right next to the boat was really something special. They're the biggest animals that have ever been on the surface of the earth, so it's quite something to experience that and see the face of the people who weren't really expecting to see a blue whale, and just having it pop up is fascinating.
Something like really wild. So whether it's, because I've done like more intense backcountry guiding as well, and I really love that. But even if it's in the Rockies, as long as there's like real wild, you know, the sense that it's quiet, you know, there's not a lot of people around, you can really get a sense for, you know, nature and that adventure, you know, spirit. Yeah. So that could be anything from like the Yukon River to Chilkoot Trail, Kluane National Park, something like that.
I love to guide. One of the fun things about guiding is you can get to travel to different places, from the Rockies. I did a lot of guiding in Europe too, but I think my favorite is to guide in Quebec because it's my home province and it's really an opportunity to show who I am, who we are, and what's special about us, Quebecois people. So I think being able to guide in Quebec is one of my favorite things to do in the world.
So I've actually guided in 8 out of the 10 provinces, from west to east. I've just not guided in the middle, in the kind of middle child provinces, sorry. But so I love guiding in the Rocky Mountains. Obviously they're spectacular. I love guiding in my home province of Quebec because it's really beautiful. But probably my favorite place to guide is the Maritimes because there are just fewer people there, and the people who are there are the nicest people you're ever going to meet. Really fun from a natural point of view, super fun cultural experiences as well, and amazing seafood.